Greetings from Snake Mountain Boatworks on July 16, 2020. Here's a report on a 13-foot Penn Yan Striptite, wonderful little boat that we restored completely something like 3 years ago. She's come back because she has started leaking. Earlier this morning I climbed beneath her and found a bunch of seams that actually had not just lost their filler, in fact they were literally broken open. The fasteners had failed and I couldn't figure it out. My first guess was that somebody stepped into the boat several times in several places while she was sitting on her load right trailer. She has a really nice trailer. You can see sort of towards the stern where the bunks are, and these Striptite boats are very fragile, and you just do not want to step into them while they're on the hard, whether it's in a trailer, sitting on the ground. They're just not structured to take that kind of downward force. But I was wrong. We brought her in and flipped her over, and now we've got her answer. It's mostly has to do with how she's been loaded onto her trailer. She shows evidence, you can see it right here, of having been dragged onto her trailer with the winch cable. You just can't do that, particularly with a Striptite boat. And as we scan back, you can see the evidence of the force that was visited on this bottom as she has been dragged onto her trailer during loading. These little guys need to be floated onto their trailers, not drawn onto their trailers. You've got to back that trailer far enough into the water so that the boat's bow hits the bow stop, and then you secure the boat gently at the bow stop. Too many people crank those winches down till they're piano string tight, and what you're asking for in that case is to simply rip the bow eye through the stem. But here we have every one of these places where you see tape is the result of this kind of dragging on rather than floating on. And then part of that process a little bit difficult to see, but we'll have to speak with the owner when we're finished. But this seam has opened as well. We will add fasteners here to tighten this up again, but first we will open this seam using a small, we have a really neat Dremel palm router, a little tiny thing that is just perfect for this. We can clean out that seam. So we're going to pick up a little ways down the road. You know about Murphy and his law. Guess when a video camera battery goes dead? Of course, right in the middle of shooting a video. So now we've got power back. In the interim, I think when we left, we were talking about the fact that there's lots of evidence here that she's been dragged onto her trailer rather than floated onto her trailer. She needs to be floated. Any Striptite boat must be floated onto her trailer, not dragged on. The strip-type construction and the very super light construction of Penn Yan hulls is such that they just cannot withstand. And what we saw in particular was the aft end of the bunks banging into, and then you can see it here. It was all through here where the boat would be pulled up, and well, here we've got black marks that are, oh, these are actually declivities. We'll have to fill these with fairing compound after we sand. You can see that in fact it hit so hard it cracked the joint where the stem and the keel meet. We'll take this strip off and repair that. But back here, I think they still show where she's been dragged along her middle of the bottom, and as a result, the entire weight of the boat with an engine on it is concentrated right in this area to begin with. As you drag up and over the tails of these two bunks, she finally begins to sit flat. In the process of being dragged, there's just too much weight concentrated in areas that are too small. And as a result, we've gone through a lot of Flex today. We first used our array of reefing hooks, and in particular we reground the finest of them. We buy them from Jamestown distributors and then grind them down as we need them for various applications. In this case, we basically needed a reefing hook with a knife edge to clean these out. And as you can see, we've gone through quite a few. Every one of these seams had been broken open. And I don't know, looking at the keel, the only explanation I can come up with is that either there was a lot of walking around inside this boat when she was on her trailer or on the hard, or when she was dragged onto her trailer, we just visited all of this force on her. So we're going through with Flex flexible epoxy from Jamestown Distributors, Total Boat. It'll be on the materials list with the write-up to this video. We'll fill all of these seams. We must repair the keel where it's been beaten up here. It's not just paint. We've got to repair the joint between the stem and the keel. And then what we've not had time to address to this point is the fact that this seam between the transom, the bottom plank of the transom, and the bottom planking has opened up all the way across. I can't really explain that, but we'll be inserting additional fasteners. We'll be opening that up with a reefing hook and filling and fairing and caulking that so that it is sound. So with that, we'll let the Flex cure. That'll take a couple days, and be able to come back to her and sand, probably with 120. She's already quite smooth. We just need to repair all of these cracks. We have some fasteners we must replace on the port side, where earlier we showed you the one seam in these little narrow planks that actually broke through and through and is wide open. So we'll put a couple of fasteners there. But with that, we'll say thank you very much. We'll continue working on our 13-foot Penn Yan little speedboat and be back to you soon. Thank you so much from Snake Mountain Boatworks.